everybody. Welcome back.
Hi, y'all. Welcome to another episode of
We got ish to say.
An
An
Everyday
everyday
Vibe podcast.
Monday. Money,
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 money.
money, money. What we talking about, Amanda?
Clearly. Some money, 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 money.
Today we are talking about finances. Why are you afraid to look at your finances? How you be, Amanda? How you doing?
I'm Gucci. I'm over here in my brain thinking about what we about to talk about today. I said, "Ooh, okay, we talking. What we talking about?"
Yeah, this is a toughie. It's kind of light, but also let's be real.
You say finances, you say money. Why is that the big bad wolf to so many people? Like, and you tell them to look at their own, want to hide under a rock. I don't understand.
So we're moving into a new topic. These next couple episodes are going to be strictly about finances. You're going to learn a lot, and you're also going to probably be like, "Damn, I need to get it together."
Which you want to do. Like, yeah, that should be a goal for the new year. Like, get it together in every area of your life, but especially your finances, because that's usually the biggest one.
Yeah. It's like super relevant right now too because inflation is a real thing. A lot of things are expensive right now. Also, financial literacy is important if you want to create generational wealth.
And that's the biggest thing. It's really about creating generational wealth. And I mean, like, maybe that's not a goal of everybody. And I guess when you're younger too, you don't think of it that way. But the earlier you start, the better it is for you. And that's going to come up. Like, it's going to come up. So you might as well start now. You might as well look at it now and understand, budgeting. And for example, my mom uses still like a checkbook. Y'all have no idea what that is. Half of you have no idea what I'm talking about right now.
For real.
No, you
Or
have
probably
no
never
idea.
seen it, never wrote in it, nothing.
Nope. Because who uses them anymore? Like, everything is mobile. Everything is like online. It's easy access. And sometimes I think that's the problem. It's easy access and you're not really keeping track. So it's like you just out here, you spending, you doing whatever you want to do. And there's no sense of real like budgeting. Where is my money going? Where does it need to go? How much came out? What's my, like, it's just gone.
It's like a good thing and a bad thing. Like technology is great, like the advances and everything, but the reality is sometimes take it back to the basics. Write it down, create an Excel sheet. That's basically what a checkbook is. It was an Excel written out, printed out in a book, and you can put like what you bought, when you bought it, how much you spent, and what's left. My grandmother used a checkbook, but my mother, she didn't use a checkbook. In the future, very soon, we have a very great topic about financial literacy and childhood. So
yeah,
we're going to talk more about these parts of why you're the way you are, maybe, or what you learned. But now right now we just it's be like, you make the money. Why are you scared to look at your spending habits?
exactly.
Like, why are you so afraid to look at that bank account? And I'd be afraid. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if I know I got paid and all my bills was already taken care of, I keep like a balance in my head. Like, okay, I'm probably sitting here, and I get a little anxious myself. Like, I get a little anxiety. Like, look, see how much money I actually spent, and now we got a firm and Klarna and all this other stuff. Like, payment plan, $30 a month, $64. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it gets scary to look to see what your habits are. I'm gonna be honest, I'd be afraid too. And I got a few accounts that I try to put money here and then like don't think about it because that's the only way I'm not gonna spend it. If I just like put it somewhere and I'm like, okay, I can't even access this account. I can, but I won't, And then I have an account where all my bills get, paid for, and then I can be like, okay, this is the money that I have for me, and then of course my business bank account. Right. But yeah, like you can't be afraid to look at your finances. I think that's just like a really hard thing for a lot of Black people, man. Like
people in general, like, I mean, people in general. So I feel like there's like a double-edged sword there. Yes, for people of color, the Black and brown communities, feel like we kind of don't. We're probably the ones who end up maybe in the negatives more often than like we should be. But I think it's across the board, because I also feel like there's like that double whammy of like, if you have too much money or you have like excess money, you just don't pay attention, because like you know it's in the account, so you
yes,
don't even care. You just swiping, you spending, you booking, you doing whatever you want to do, because it's like, it don't matter, I know it's covered. So like there's like a double edge to both of that. Like there's either you don't check it because like maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck and you know that like it's not amazing, and you just
yeah,
don't want to see the reality. Like you
depressing.
don't want to face, yeah, you don't want to
Yeah,
face the reality of what your financial situation may be. So it's like, I don't look at it and I kind of just spend. Or you got too much and you're like, I don't need to look at it, I just spend.
yeah,
Like, okay.
yeah. That's a great way to think about it. I don't think I ever really, I guess, thought about it that way. Like if you did have, so much money. So that's very interesting. And it is still important if you are wealthy to look at your balances. Um, what about your
Absolutely.
habits, Amanda? Are you afraid to look at your finances?
No, I want to be rich. Like, I need to know what's happening. So, like, I've never been afraid to look at them. I've just not always been super aware of them.
Okay.
So when I say that, I just mean I'm the type of person, like, when I know that like my paycheck is hit, like I go out and do what I want to do. So I'm the type that kind of like spends without checking, because I know the money is there.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not like rich, it's like I know it's there, so I know I can like cover my bills and like do whatever excess I want to do. So I now am more intentional just about like my money and my budget. So
Yeah.
I know every single month before the end of the month, like I will sit down. If you're a spreadsheet person, it's probably perfect for you. If you're not, it's kind of annoying. But I'm a very visual person and a visual learner. So in order for me to sometimes keep up, especially if you have like multiple subscriptions and bills and
Yeah.
this and that, and like if you don't have them coming out of like one solid account that's like your bill account, like Kay just said, and you're kind of like spread across the board, it will definitely help you if you like have your stuff kind of like logged out some
Right.
type of way that you're able to look at, whether you're pulling it up on your computer every month and like going over it, or if it's like printed out and you update it, or whatever the case may be. I think those are kind of like smart tips and tricks to stay aware. But for me, that is what it is. Like I have a list of like my bills, and then I have a list of my subscriptions.
Right.
I have a list of what cards my subscriptions are attached to, so
Right.
I know that like money's not going to randomly be coming out of this account. And like whether the account, if I'm not putting money into that account
Right.
consistently, okay, but you're taking consistently, so I got to make sure that account don't end up in the negative.
Facts.
So same thing with like bills, like knowing my bills, knowing what date they're due on, knowing which ones I have set up for automatic payment, which ones I go in and pay myself,
Yeah.
and when that's going to come out. So I definitely am not afraid to look in mine. Like I almost like get excited to look in mine, because I'm like, okay, where are we at? What can I cut? What do I really not need? Like how much am I spending here? Like
Yeah.
what? Because looking at your bills and whatnot will tell you what's really your priority, if it's saving your money or if it's keeping up these habits. So
Yes. No, facts. For me, I've been on both sides. Like I've been on the side where it was like, okay, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And then on the side where it's like, oh, okay, like my bills are paid, I can save and I can spend. Being on both of those sides, I feel like I was a different person spending wise. Of course, when it's paycheck to paycheck, you can't do so many things. And so you pinch, you put aside, you pay bills, and you pinch off what you can. And I do have more to spend. I don't pinch, but like you said, like you can spend a little bit more here. But I do also create a budget for myself too. Like just because I got the money to spend it, don't mean it has to be spent. Like
right.
back in the day, sis used to be like, I got a paycheck, this has happened, we going all out. You know what I'm saying? Because that was just something that I didn't think about. It's like I got money, I work hard for this money, I deserve. And it's like, no, you have to save, you have to be smarter about your finances. So and I'm not gonna lie, back in the day, like I didn't look at my bank accounts and it was negatives and then banks closing on you and now you can't get a bank account for this many months because Bank of U.S. Bank does say, oh no, denied, your account been in the negative too long. You know what I'm saying? But thanks for growth. You know what I'm saying? 10 years later, sis ain't doing that no
right
more.
there.
You know, college me, we ain't know no better. Everybody teach me about no finances. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here spending money. Like she said, having something that allows you to check those balances and budgets and stuff is very helpful. And going back to technology, I personally use, it used to be called Truebill, but now it's called, I think, Rocket. And basically, it's literally like a money ledger, like a tech app, basically a checkbook. It lets you know when your bills are going to be due, how much you're spending in a whole year, how much more you spent this month. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, these last 2 months, like I'm like, godly, and it's not gonna stop. Like I'm just like I'm a little nervous. So now that I know I have some things coming up that's gonna be a priority that I have to spend money, I might want to kind of scale back a little bit and not go out to eat more than this many times or whatever the case may be. But it shows you all these things so it won't be so hard to look at your finances and check that that report at the end of the month. It's all there for you, and I love it because you can see it like you can see it going up and you can see it go down. And when you get that congratulations, like, oh, congratulations, you spent $1,000 less than you spent this month than you did last month. You're like, ooh, you know.
We love that. We love recognition.
Okay.
Recognition is fire.
like I love that. But then when they say you spent $1,000 more, you like, from what? What did I do? Then you got to think about, like, dang, I bought pizza, I went out, I bought drinks, you were doing stuff that you didn't do before. So, but it is the holiday season, so you know we gonna spend more, and inflation is real. So don't be afraid to look at your finances. If you're not afraid to go in the store and pick up what you want and swipe that card, don't be afraid to go back later that day and say, okay, this is how much I had in my account. This is how much this thing costs. Was this a priority? Did I need this? You know, and you ain't got to take it back. That's your prerogative. If you wanted it and you felt like you deserved it, by all means. But in the same token, you saw that price go on that cash register, you got that receipt. Go back and look at your bank account and say, okay, if I spent this much on this item, maybe pay yourself back that in your savings. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back and say, okay, put that money back, you know. Sometimes that's a helpful way of doing that.
I definitely do that. Yeah.
I need to start doing that myself because that's a great idea.
Yeah. I love that. Reminding yourself of great ideas. Yeah, no, that's big facts. I definitely do that. I will be like, yo, this is an account that's like my savings account. Like, it's money I know I'm not supposed to touch, but like, I really want this and it's on sale, or like, you know, something, whatever will come up. But I'll make a note, like, I need to put $140 back into whatever account, because I don't want, like, I don't want to basically rob myself. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And like Kay said, like, having an app that kind of like tracks it and makes sure that puts it in your face, really. I know Mint does that. The app that, the app that I use personally is Every Dollar. And so Every Dollar is through kind of like the Dave Ramsey company, or, you know, his profile of things, if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey. And so it also kind of links into like the baby steps, you know, system that he has, where it's your baby step of like having your emergency fund, then establishing a savings fund, and like, you know, all that. And so I think it's really great just because it ties in so many things together. But outside of that too, it really helps you with budgeting. And so I know people just almost like the word finance, budgeting, like, sends people into a coma. They hate the word budget. So, and the thing is, I think it's because people have the wrong perception of budget. People see budget as like restraint and constriction and like rules, and like people just want to we a rebel just for kicks out here. Like, we just don't want it. So people, I think, just hear the word budget and it's an automatic no, it's an automatic struggle, because they have the wrong connotation and mindset around it. And really, a budget is not to constrict you or to make you feel like bound and like someone else is, like, you know, controlling your money, but it's to provide you freedom. It's so you can have fun. Like, if you are establishing a budget and now you have, whether it's your envelopes or your different accounts or whatever for your money, and it's like your vacation money, your shopping money, and whatnot. Okay, well, when Black Friday come around next year, and you know you about to blow hundreds of dollars, you don't have to stress anymore. You don't have to have accounts in the negative. You don't have to run up credit cards. You just budgeted out your money all throughout the year, and it was little amounts that probably didn't kill you. So, like, the budget is not for you to feel constricted and restrained. It's for you to feel freedom and like really enjoy your life and enjoy, you know, money. But people have to really change their mindset around money. They have to change their mindset around certain words that we have almost like tainted because money has us in a bind. Like, money has people locked up in shackles, and it is really and it is hard because it's not just the money, but now it's the mindset around it. Like, there's just a famine and a lack mindset, and that's just really hard to break sometimes. Hey, let's play around the trivia real quick. If you had to take a guess, what would you say is the top factor of stress in most people's life today? Did you answer money or finances? I'd have to agree. My name is Amanda Johnson, and I'm a financial professional who sees the chaos and fallout of financial stress on families and individuals every single day. You don't have to be one of them. You don't have to be there, and life is not meant to be lived that way. I invite you to connect with me and have a conversation about where you're at financially and where you're trying to go. It's completely free to have a conversation and get information that could change the trajectory of your future. Are you willing to bet on you? Click the link in my bio and join me on my mission to change the lives of financial literacy. Let's go! But with every dollar, the reason I said I really like that one is because when I talk about budgeting, it's also the type of app where like so you can connect your bank account, and it can't all be done, you know, the same way as like Mint or any other apps that were mentioned. But what I like about it is leaving it on manual mode, because then it forces you to go in there and be accountable. Wow. So like, okay, I went and bought a $5 biggie bag at Wendy's, so it was $7 because I added a cookie. So each month you go in and you have these sections and you kind of budget it out. So you have all your stuff like your phone bill, your card note, whatever the case may be. And so once you've paid it, you go in there, you can click the little check because you know if it's an exact amount that's repetitive, right? You can go in there, click the little check, and the full bar, it'll be like fully loaded, bar, check mark, you're done for the month. But then there's like another budget that you set. So say you have a grocery budget and you don't really know how much you're going to spend, but say you typically spend around $200 a month on groceries. You can go in there and it's like, okay, groceries. I didn't go full blown grocery shopping, so I didn't spend $200 at once. But like, it was taco night, so I went to the grocery store and I've spent $85. You go in the little grocery section, you type in $85, be like, quick run or whatever. Okay, and then now the bar will be like half loaded, 80% or whatever. So you know how much of your budget you spent for that category. And so it just makes you very, one, aware of your spending habits, because now you're having to put them in yourself. Two, it keeps you accountable. Three, now you're seeing if you are blowing money in places and going over that budget consistently. And that lets you know, do I need to extend this budget because I'm shooting too low? Or am I doing too much and I'm blowing it and going over? And then now I'm making myself in a bind in other places. So it just builds up habits. It just builds up healthy habits, I think, around money. And it can be like, I think it can be fun because it's like, ooh, okay, I get to go in here and see where I'm really spending and what I'm spending on, and like if I need to adjust the budget or if I'm doing too much, and I can, and like it really becomes fun because now you can like move your money around, and like hopefully you don't feel like it's just somebody else's money that is given to you, and then you just give it all back to everybody else for bills. Like, you can start to have fun with it. So I love every dollar for that reason. But yeah, it's a real mental thing. So I get why y'all don't be wanting to look at it, but like, please look at it. Let's start somewhere. It's a baby step. You got to look at it.
How much does that app cost?
It's free.
Wow. I spend $3 a month on what I have. Okay. And I'm pretty sure it probably does. It seems very, very similar because you can create like the emergency fund. It takes it out automatically based on what you're getting into your bank account. So like your income every couple weeks. Right. It like automatically says like, okay, this person is making whatever amount a month. This is how much you spend on your bills, but this is how much we could take out to put into your emergency fund. Say you're making less, it'll take less out to put into your emergency fund. But if you have more and more is sitting there over a period of time, then it'll say, okay, I can take like whatever here from whatever there. And it does it like every couple days or every couple weeks or whatever. And you don't never see it. It doesn't like put it in a savings account in your bank. Right. It saves it in the app's bank. And then you can always take it out. Transfer it. You can always transfer it, or you can keep it in there. You can also put your like IRA or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
investments. You can see your stocks, bonds. You can see
I
all
love
of your
that.
things, which is nice. And another thing I loved about it was that you could name your price. So
Mm.
I said I wanted to pay $3 a month. It didn't tell me to pay $3 a month. It's like, what can you afford? And so I'm like, well, for me, you know, I like to ball on a budget. Like everything that I do is on a budget. Like I might go out and spend money on food and stuff because I'm a foodie and I'm gonna pay for a great meal. I don't care. Just saying.
Not mad.
But other things in life, I pinch a little bit because I'm like, I don't need to be spending all this money on whatever. So I chose to pay $3 a month. But whatever works for you, you know, it's so many options out there for you to be able to look at your finances and not be afraid to look at your finances. Take control of your money, you know, and you can't be sitting out here saying you broke because if you say you broke, you broke. But if you say you're wealthy, you're wealthy. You know, it's like she said, it's a mindset and it's also a manifestation. If you say you want to get better with your money, stop. Don't say I want to get better with my money. I am better with my money. I will be better with my money. You know, so change your mindset in the way you talk about money because then that's going to change the way you act when you either have money or you don't have money.
Absolutely. And you have to build the practices, the habits, the muscles now, whether like if you don't have money, you have to build the practices now because
Yeah.
um you just one, if you don't know how to act with a little money, you're not going to know how to act with a lot of money. Like that's
Period.
just plain and simple. You're not going to you're not going to know what to do.
No.
And so um and like it's not to like make it super religious, but really like they'd be like, God only can trust you with what he can trust you with, right? And if you can't even act right with what you have now, why would he trust you with more? Like he's not going to give you more. And so it's just a matter of like really knowing how to manage what you have, but also be grateful.
Yeah.
Like outside of like the mindset and just the way you feel about money or whatever your constructs around money are, it really is about being grateful because truly there's something about just being grateful for what you have and realizing that like there are people out here that wish they even had like a quarter of
For
what
real.
you have.
For real.
They have like a quarter of what you have, and you're out here complaining and like asking for more. Not saying that you can't ask for more, like of course
Yeah.
dream big, like stretch the vision, like you should want more and to grow, but responsibly and smartly,
Yeah.
because if you're not managing it well, like you're probably not going to manage more well, and that's not helpful. Like how many people do we know that are like lottery winners and
Right.
NFL, NBA players, and like
Right.
years later they're broke because they never actually learned how to manage money themselves. So
Right.
yeah, you gotta learn now. And if you don't feel like you can do it alone, it's time to sit down with somebody. I guess this will kind of go into like one of our other episodes around like the
Yeah.
past and family and whatnot with money
Yeah.
and whatnot. But money's always been hush hush. It's always been secret, and we don't tell people, and
Yep.
all that type of stuff. And a lot of times I think that comes with too, you're like, I'm just afraid of being judged, or I don't want
Yeah.
people to have a certain viewpoint of me
Yeah.
because of my money. People, so that's the
Right.
biggest thing. I think people really attach their income and how much money is in their bank account to their worth.
Yes.
It, two totally separate things, but people will equate it as one single being, and that also puts up all these walls around like the conversation of finance and money. And so yeah, if you're afraid, it's time to sit down with a financial advisor who can help you, who can guide you in the right direction. And again,
where can they find a financial advisor, Amanda?
so you can find them in banks. You can find them. They're not that hard to find. Let's just be real. They're not too hard to find necessarily, but the average financial advisor is going to ask you for a minimum of like anywhere from $5,000 or up.
Is
To
this
like
like a private advisor?
so it's like if you're like looking for investments, right? Or if you're
Got it.
looking to open up like a certain account, most times to even like sit down with you, like the starting is you got to be able to put $5,000 into an account or more, for them to even sit down and have a conversation with you about your finances.
Okay.
And a lot of times that's not where people are at. Like, like they
Yeah.
just want the conversation. They just want the basic knowledge. And you're basically telling them you're too broke for me to even have a conversation with you. So that's also what
Stressful.
pushes people away, Yeah, absolutely. That also pushes people away from it. And so there's people like me who work for other companies, we're financial professionals, and we sit down with you for free. Wow. It's literally as simple as reaching out and like us sitting down, getting on a Zoom call and having a conversation with you. Like it's we'll have the conversation, and again, it can be uncomfortable, but it's not just to be like, okay, let's talk about your money. Let's talk about how bad your situation is. Like, it's none of that. It's literally to give you the tools and the resources to be better, because a lot of times we know you don't have like all the knowledge that you really need to do better, because if you knew better, you would do better most of the time. So it's just, we really want to educate. We want to give you the tools. We want to let you be able to put the ball in your court and have control in your hands so you feel comfortable around your money. But we have the conversation for free. We give you the tools and the information for free. We even run a full dream map. We call it a dream map, but it's really like a financial needs analysis. We ask you, yes, it gets personal because we have to ask you about your income. We ask you about your spending habits. We ask you about your levels of protection and all of that. We break it all down because those are all the key components of finance, and like, making sure you have things in order and like how to budget out your money. But from there, we can look at it. And some people are visual learners. Some people work great with numbers. Yeah. I'm a visual learner. So when we break it down and we spit back out a dream map to you, we're going to give it to you both ways. So whichever way you need it, your brain can comprehend it.
I need a dream map. Shit.
Look, you sitting right here. What we doing? Zoom.
She
like,
just
what we
got
doing?
me together, y'all. Damn.
No, but big facts. Like, it's as simple as like getting on a Zoom in the comfort of your own home. We can have a conversation about it. We can get all the numbers, spit it back out to you, and show you where you're at, and then give you a solid plan and steps to move forward into a better, future. So it can be easy. It's just a matter of like breaking down your own walls. Like, have trust. It's okay.
Yeah. I want to kind of go back to judgment and about why you're afraid to talk about your finances. In your friend groups, in your family, you are expected to do certain things or spend money on certain things. Like, for example, your friends go out to eat, your friends go to clubs, your family want to go on vacation, whatever the case may be. A lot of the times people don't want to admit like they can't afford it. Mm-hmm. And then you start to pinch and do other things to say, to make it seem like you got it, and you really don't have it. Mm-hmm. And it's okay, and it shouldn't be that way. It's not okay. Like you should literally be able to say like, I can't do that, and you don't necessarily have to say like, I don't have the budget for that, but it should be more acceptable for you to just be like, that's not in my plans this month, Correct. And that's the end of the story, and without feeling that anxiety of people thinking like, she ain't got it, or how people be. You come to a place looking a certain way, or you're not showing up like they used to seeing you showing up. Oh, what's wrong with you? You good? You cool? Y'all know how people get. So you feel like this anxiety to this anxiousness to always be on. And I know that's how I kind of grew up a little bit. Like, people look at you, the way they see you and what you do, they kind of equate that like, oh, she got it. And it's like, no, you don't have to look like what you've been through or what you're going through or what your like finances may or may not look like. There's a way you have to show up for yourself that matters to you. So Don't be afraid to say, that's not in my plans. Like, cancel some of that stuff out, because I know even me, like, there's a whole lot of things that I can say, oh no, I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to do this. And I might can afford it and I might not, but why do I got to spend my money on it?
Right.
Be smarter about it. Just because I can spend it or not spend it doesn't mean that I have to do that. This world is crazy, y'all. Like, there's so many things going on, especially we was in a pandemic for 2 years and no telling what the hell is about to happen. Like, everybody's sick. We don't know what's about to happen. So inflation, you just want to be ready. So look at your money, cut back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Put some away. Look at those finances. Every time you swipe that card, go back home. You got the phone right there. All you gotta do is log into your online banking.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh dang, I spent $50. Exactly. Ooh, I shouldn't have spent $50. I know I do that to myself sometimes. Like, I look at my personal account, I'm like, why you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm like, okay, I've set my money aside and I did my bills and stuff, whatever. But why did I spend $100 off Amazon? Mm-hmm. Right. Did I really need it? Maybe so, but at the end of the day, it's like, like, I ain't been really good to myself with my finances these last couple months. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, but also a lot of those things were priorities that if maybe I would have did something different when I went to Texas 2 months ago, I probably wouldn't be thinking about it like that.
Right.
You know, but I didn't think about those things.
No, it's true, and we definitely, I agree. We definitely have to normalize just being like no.
Yeah.
Normalize no.
Just no, like, oh no, I'm good.
Exactly, and like, and honestly, one, I feel like we need to, I guess, in some ways, have better discernment around our friend circles and like the people that we are just associating ourselves with.
Yeah.
Because if you can't have like these real and raw and honest conversations with like your friends or your family or whatever, and just be like, yeah, no, I'm in a bind. Like, I'm in a tough spot. Like right now, like I'm trying to pay down some things, or like I have debt, or like bruh, those are real conversations. Like, we are adults. This is real life. Like, we all have bills. Most of us have credit cards. Like, these are real. And like, just number one, like, you should be able to have that conversation in general, because it is what it is. Like, it's just, it is what it is. It's real. Yeah, exactly. We're not out here just working for nothing. Like, we're it's usually because there's bills to pay and we're working towards something. So that's common. That's just, okay, that's a common across the board for all of us. But number two, like, I don't understand why we are so afraid to be honest and vulnerable with like each other in areas that like we all could be suffering, because sometimes all it takes is you. It just takes one person to say it and to be real and to be honest, for it to now be like an open dialogue and an open conversation about, yo, I'm really glad you said that, because I feel the exact same way. And like, really, like, I didn't want to be the one to say it, but like, maybe we shouldn't go out. Like, maybe we shouldn't like do this. Maybe we can find another way to do it on like a budget. Like, can we all meet up at somebody's house and do a potluck? Like, you know, whatever the case may be. But like, we can get creative and we can be around each other and do things and live our best lives without always like splurging and going broke to do it. Because trying to keep up with the Joneses and look cute and flex for the gram, it's not cute, because when the bills come in, no cap, you gotta pay them, bro. Like, you stay
right. You out
here. Why stress yourself?
You out here having a good time, and then bills roll around. Now you dipping
miserable
into your savings, pay whatever. You know, don't be that person. Mm-hmm. These next couple episodes are going to be all about finances, so we're going to spend some more time talking about why you have the habits that you may have, or what you learned growing up. And also, Amanda's going to definitely give you more resources and tools on how to stay connected to your finances so you don't have to be so afraid.
Big facts. We got you. But for the meantime, it's open dialogue. Talk to us. Why are you so afraid? What's up? What's popping? Why are we not talking about it? Who are your friends? Do you know that your friends are broke and they out here flexing and you just ain't said nothing? Tell us. It's okay if you can't tell your friends.
Amanda! Tell us. She putting y'all ass on blast.
I'm just saying. But look, this is why we started a podcast, right? We're here to have a community. We're here to have open dialogue. If you haven't joined the community, head over to our Instagram, tap the link in the bio, join our community, because we're having these type of conversations and we're keeping it real. Like, look, each one teach one, and we can all help each other. And again, like I said, sometimes all it takes is you. You may need to be the anchor for your friend group that brings you all to financial freedom.
Hello.
You may need to be the anchor in your friend group that says, yo, we about to get together. We gonna look at our finances. And even if you don't necessarily want to all share numbers and whatnot, and you're all going to have yours. You're going to sit there with your plan. You're going to make a plan, and you're going to find out how y'all about to get rich together. Let's all level up.
I love that. That's why I love her.
That's
Bless. We're not trying to make it a real deep conversation. It's, lighthearted. Look at your money. So you can get paid, young. Get paid, young. Get paid. Get paid. Oh, okay. Money. Hey, no. How about we do that? Like we need to start the video with the saying it.
I bet, yes.
So we can start like, okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today's episode. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment below what you guys are thinking about our podcast, what you thought about the topic, and also tell us why you're afraid to look at your finances. anything,
Let us
don't
know.
put your friends on blast, or don't be adding people down in the comments. We don't want no smoke with these folks. I'm better say I do.
I'm not saying I want the smoke. I'm just saying maybe they need to be put on blast this year if we ain't calling that out. God can't heal what you won't reveal. That's all I'm saying.
I love that. That sounds good to me. Where can they find us, Amanda?
They can find us at Instagram and TikTok. We got Ish to Say Pod.
Yes.
If you are on Twitter, we are at We Got Ish to Say Pod, but with the number 2, not the T-O. You can always find me at smile_for_Amanda. Literally click the link in my bio, hop on my Calendly, guys. Let's have a conversation. I have time for you. We can budget, and there's no judgment. I do this for a living. We talk about it all the time. It doesn't matter. I've probably seen people worse than you. Might have seen some better. It does not matter. Like, let's talk about it so we can get you to a healthier spot.
Yes.
And then of course the brand, I want you guys to live a life of victory, which also sometimes starts in your finances. So you can always find me at the brand at Love Vibes. It's LOV.vibes on Instagram, and the website's lovevibes.com.
Yes, ma'am. And you can find me at I Am Sade Brand.
Hey guys, it's Kay, owner of Everyday People Luxury Eyewear Company. I just wanted to remind you to shop that link below at everydaypeopleworld.com to get access to all of our latest styles. We have styles for men and women, and most of our styles are UV protected because we care about style and eye protection. We're one of the first Black woman-owned eyewear companies that cares about your style and also your eye care. Make sure you click that affiliates link if you get your friends to shop with me, because I give you 10% of my proceeds. I want to give you a gift for supporting your local business owner. Again, that's everydaypeopleworld.com, and the affiliates link is below.
I also sell sunglasses, and if you want to be a little shady and not look at that shit, go ahead and head over to everydaypeopleworld.com. I'm wearing Parker frames right now, y'all. Fly, I know.
Fire.
No, Fire. But for real, don't be shading your finances. That was just a joke.
But if you end up being a little shady in the comments and adding your friend, put those on.
Put them on blast. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye.